A good leader, especially in a company, will be trying to think 2 or 3 steps ahead of where the rest of the company is. And so they'll be trying to get ahead of where everyone else is and trying to pull everyone forward to that place.
People need to feel that they understand the vision of the company so they have something to rally behind. Like, you need for people to come here for more than just money. They have to believe in what you're doing. It doesn't have to be the cornerstone of their existence, but they do need to believe that you, as a group of leaders, have a vision for the company that they believe in, that they can essentially sign on for and participate in, because otherwise, why are we here?
Strong leadership is about painting a clear vision for the organisation, making sure that everyone understands their purpose in the organisation. So really, the common mission. So clear communication of that common vision. But the vision has to be backed up with some evidence or some data. I'm a big believer, and certainly something that Google also espouses is show me the data. So making sure that you've got some data to back up your claims, your assertions. Yeah. And if you're not able to kind of demonstrate that there's some basis to your vision. Now, this is tricky, because something that's really speculative and really quite out there may not be a lot of data. So, but you've got to have a sense that there is sufficient data to kind of support the vision. This is quite challenging if you're talking about, you know, big moonshot type visions, like, oh, we're going to figure out a way to do, for example, something completely radical. You know, we're going to put a high-speed network in the sky. Actually, we're doing that. That's called Project Loom. But at the time, it seemed crazy. And how we were able to kind of move forward with that was with a lot of data. We collected a lot of data about atmospheric conditions. We were able to convince ourselves that we could keep these balloons up in the stratosphere long enough to make it viable. So yes, there was a big vision, but we were able to basically get people to buy into that vision because we were able to bring enough supporting data to it to kind of convince people that it wasn't completely wacky. I think the other aspect is just being very open and transparent. When you don't know things, you can't bluff. You have to say, look, there are areas of this vision that are incomplete. In fact, part of your role as a team member is to help us fill in those blank spots and to kind of make the vision more complete. So again, transparency and openness goes a long way to helping people, you know, bring them into a vision.
And so having a shared vision is absolutely critical, because then you can actually mobilise resources. People feel enthusiastic. If people know where they're going, if I know where I'm going personally, then I'm much more motivated to keep on going, even if I know the road's going to be a little bit rocky, a little bit bumpy. I'm motivated to keep on going. And when I think of our startups and having that vision, the ones that I've seen be incredibly successful is they've gone back, they've identified that really deep need that consumers have or that their target audience has, and they've articulated it really clearly, and they've defined their place in the ecosystem as fulfilling that particular need. And that's, I think, the vision. And so for that emotional connection, we're all humans, we love emotion at the end of the day, have a really clear and articulate vision of this is what we're trying to achieve, this is the road we're going down, this is the impact that we want to make on the world. The leader's most important role is the curator of the culture of the organisation, the curator of the vision of where is that organisation going. And so while, you know, Satya Nadella leads a multi-billion-dollar business, for any entrepreneurial leader or you know, person who wants to start their own organisation, what is the culture that you want to have? Because if you don't work on it in a very explicit way, you'll still have a culture. It just might not be the one that you want. So Satya's been extremely explicit around the way that we interact with each other, the way that it's okay to fail, that it's okay to ask questions. It's actually desirable to be vulnerable and to ask for help. And through that, the speed of the innovations that are coming out of Microsoft have actually accelerated. And so I think there's a huge role of that entrepreneurial leader to curate the vision and the culture for their organisation for success.
It is important when you're bringing people together that you create a culture and environment in where there's a degree of safety. In fact, we often talk about the term psychological safety. It has to be an environment where it's okay to express your opinions, your views, where they might be radically different from the person beside you. It's hard to achieve, but that's something we strive to do, and I encourage other organisations to really figure out how they can create that kind of safe environment, because it's only once you have that safe environment that you can kind of foster that diversity of opinions. If there's someone or some group of individuals who are dominating, there's a very good chance that, well, apart from creating unnecessary friction, and you're probably likely to be missing out on ideas that can be ultimately quite helpful for the business. So that comes down to culture. Calling behaviours out when you see a behaviour that is, for example, disrespectful or not inclusive, making sure that everyone is okay to kind of call that out and signal it, and really have, I would say, almost zero tolerance for disrespectful behaviour. So teams function best when the environment is safe, where everyone feels there's a strong sense of mutual respect.